Hi, I'm Arden Kaywin, and welcome to the Pro Singer Success Collective. Today's episode is the 5 lessons that I have learned saving 50 singers' careers. Hey guys, welcome to the Pro Singer Success Collective. I'm really excited about our topic today because, as you all know, my work, my passion, my experience is all wrapped up around serving struggling singers and showing them how to become more successful with their voice, with their performances, and with their careers. And over the year, I really want to share them with you today because I get this question a lot, which is like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm doing everything I know how to do. And like, I still struggle with my technique, or I still struggle to nail auditions, or I still struggle to make recordings that get, lots and lots of plays. And so today I want to come on and I want to share with you the 5 lessons that I've learned, like the most important things that I have learned over the years in saving so many singers' voices and careers that I think makes the biggest difference. So let's start with number 1. Good technique is not enough. So yes, technique is important. I don't want you to all, holler at me in the comments telling me, oh my God, technique is the thing. Yes, technique is important and good technique is important, but good technique is not enough. So there is no point in having good technique if your brain is just going to be sabotaging your body from using it. And what do I mean by that? Okay. So your whole body is your instrument, not just your vocal cords, okay? And the cords live in this entire ecosystem of your body. And one giant part of your body, of your entire instrument, is your brain, your mind. And any athlete will tell you that your body cannot do what your brain is sabotaging. It just can't. So if we are learning technique in a vacuum, meaning totally focused on, from here down, right? You end up missing out on training the one part of this instrument that will sabotage everything else and all that technique that you intellectually understand from actually happening. And this is why I hear from so many of you, like intellectually, you understand what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you understand, you've had a lot of training, and yet all of that intellectual understanding of what you need to be doing in your technique seems to go out the window the moment that it counts, whether you're in an audition or a performance or doing a recording session. Okay. And that is because your stinking thinking is sabotaging your body from showing up to all of that amazing technique. So I can give a singer the best technique in the world. And trust me, guys, if you follow me and if you are one of my singers, like I work you guys hardcore in technique, but that's not enough. We have to train the mind too, so that all that awesome technique that you are learning actually gets implemented and embodied the moment it counts, so that you will deliver every single time to the best of your ability, to your potential when it counts. So the number one thing, first thing that I have learned over many, many years of saving struggling singers' voices and careers is that good technique is not enough. So if all you are getting is technique and being trained from the neck down, and you understand what you're supposed to be doing, but you struggle to have that show up for you in the moment that it counts, and you're still in inconsistency, lack of reliability, tension, strain, then you are missing a giant part of your training that's going to help you optimize and get those breakthroughs. Okay, so number 1, good technique is not enough. Second lesson that I have learned over the years of saving so many singers' voices and careers is that community is essential. And you're probably thinking, like, what? Community? Like, what, Arden? What does that have to do with anything? And here's something that I've learned over the years, which is that being a professional singer can be very isolating and very lonely a lot of the time, because you are just out there on your own, trying to make things happen, trying to hustle, going to auditions. Like, there's no there's no community, there's no place for you to have that support, to have that safe space to experiment and fail and try things out and be with people who are all going through what you're going through, to be able to have that community. It can be so isolating, especially if you're, the kind of singer who nobody else, in your family really understands what you're doing. They might all be normies, people with normal jobs, teachers, accountants, whatever. They're not on an artistic path. They don't understand what you're going through. And also, a lot of you went to maybe college or done, longer duration programs where you've made friends, but there can often be this sense of competition, this sense of, well, if they get something, it means that I don't get something. And so while, you kind of fake being happy for them, you're also like kind of jealous because you see them doing stuff that you want. And so your community actually makes you feel worse than better, right? So a community of support where a rising tide lifts all boats is essential, because also you understand and you learn how you're keeping each other accountable to your dreams. You're keeping each other accountable to your daily practices that are moving you in that direction. There's shared resources, there are shared wins, and the thing that I think that matters the most when it comes to, not just any community will do, it is the kind of community that you have that's essential. Because, let's use an example. Like if you're a runner, and let's say you're doing marathons or something, and you right now run a 10-minute mile, but you want to be running a 5-minute mile. If you continue running with the pack that's running a 10-minute mile, you're going to keep running a 10-minute mile because there's nobody for you to look up to, and for you to get resources from, and for you to understand ideas from, and to pick their brain, and to, you want to run. If you want to run a 5-minute mile, then you better be running in the pack who's running a 5-minute mile. So it's not just that having any community will do, it's having a community who is all involved in up leveling and in raising their vibration and in being accountable and in creating incredible, amazing things, and being in that mindset to do it. So community is essential. That's lesson number 2. Run with the pack doing the 5-minute mile. Don't stay with the current pack who's all just, running the 10-minute mile and complaining about why they're not getting there. Okay. The next lesson, number 3, that I have learned over years, and guys, this was a hard one, but I'm going to tell it to you straight. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Perfect is boring. So you guys are so many of you get sucked into this perfectionism, the perfectionism of your sound, the perfectionism of your performance. It's got to be perfect, right? And like I will tell you, after years and years and years of doing this, perfectionism kills careers. I want you to get that. Like number 1, it is rooted, perfectionism is rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear of failure most often. So here's how this works. You have this passion, you have this dream on your heart. God put you on this planet with this voice, with this gift, and you are hell bent on living it because there is nothing else in this world that you want to do. You know that if you settle, staying at this day job, working in this office, or doing a million side jobs that are sucking the life and the energy out of you, that you will feel like a giant failure if you do not actualize this talent. Okay. So you're out there doing everything you know how to be doing, right? And the thing is, this fear of failing at this thing, at this gift you have, at this thing that you want more than anything else. Okay. The perfectionism is your ego mind's way of trying to protect you from failing. So hear me out. This is how this works. Mind goes, if I am perfect, then I will not fail. If I am perfect, I will avoid failing, and therefore I will avoid either losing what I have or not getting what I want. Those are the 2 things that we fear the most. So in this case, I will avoid not having that amazing career that I know that I want, and I will avoid having to live day to day wondering what if, feeling like a has-been or a never was, settling for something I don't want, having to go to that job every day, watching other people live my dream. Okay. So that fear, ego mind has come in and given this idea, oh, If I'm perfect, if I do everything perfectly, if I people please and give you everything that I think that you think I need to be in order to succeed, and perfect at that, perfect sound, perfect look, perfect body, perfect, you name it, then I won't fail. Okay. But here's what happens. See, perfect, there's no such thing as perfect. Perfect is an unattainable standard. It's not even the bottom rung on the ladder. It's not even on the ladder because it doesn't exist. And what is perfect anyway? Your idea of perfect might be completely different than his idea of perfect. And so now you're trying to please all these things, which you absolutely can't because everybody's idea of what's perfect is different anyway. But there you are trying to be perfect so that you don't fail and trying to reach this unattainable standard. And it's never good enough. It will never be good enough because you are trying to achieve something that is impossible. But yet, if this idea that perfectionism is what's needed to succeed, and again, guys, this is most of the time subconscious, it's not even in the forefront of your mind, but that drive to perfectionism, then it leads us into that feeling of never being enough because we can never reach that. And so the bar is always changing. And now we're always in that place. You're always in that place of make, force, do, manipulate, control. So in your head, trying to be perfect. And all of that control and manipulation and being in your head, it cuts you off from the most efficient use of your body, being able to make an impact on your audience. It cuts you off from your audience. Your job is just to be that open channel of truth and energy through sound for your audience. And when you're up in your head trying to be perfect, it cuts you off from that. And so your performances now don't make an impact. You don't get into the callbacks. Your recordings don't land. They don't get listens. You don't get record deals. You're not getting paid to sing. And it's all because you were so wrapped up in this perfectionism and it is killing your career. So that's why lesson number 3 is perfect is boring. It's not even interesting because it's not the truth of you anyway. It's just you trying to fit the square peg into a round hole of what you think you need to be in order to be successful. And it is causing you to fail. It is actually causing the thing that you are terrified of in the first place. So, lesson number 3, perfect is boring. It's not necessary. Number 4. Lesson number 4. Fear will take you down every single time. It affects your technique in the sense that if you're worried about what's going to come out, if you're worried you're not going to make it through the end of the phrase, if you're worried about what the audience is thinking of you or judging you, if you're worried about what your parents think because you're going after this career and they don't think being a singer is a real job, if all that is going in your mind or any bit of that is going in your mind, now you're in your physical fear reaction in your body. And physical fear reaction is the same for everyone. It's fight or flight. You know this. And if you're in fear mode and you're in fight mode, now your body is gonna be contracted and constricted and controlled because gosh darn it, you are gonna fight this thing. You're gonna fight the high note. You're gonna fight that audition. You're gonna do it, right? And your body literally responds to that, and that kicks you off your technique. You stop trusting your technique, everything you know, your body, your instrument, and now you're overworking your intention, you're in strain, you don't trust the body, you don't trust what you have, and now you've actually made that sound that you were scared of making in the first place. So that fear, it affects your technique, it affects your ability to make an impact on your audience, because like I was just saying, if you're fearful of what's going to come out, you're going to hold back. If you're fearful of what they're going to think of you, you're going to hold back. All of this contracts you. And now this beautiful open channel of energy and sound, whose job it is just to be that open channel, to share that energy, that's what makes an impact on an audience. And now that is what is completely cut off. And so now you're not making that impact. And so then again, it affects what happens in the trajectory of the career. And when those things are not going well, also, if you're in fear, it also affects your ability to make and take opportunities and put yourself out there. How many of you are still on the bench? Meaning you keep thinking about doing more auditions, you keep thinking about making recordings, you keep thinking about going out there and gigging, But there's too much fear around. Will my voice show up the way I want? My technique is inconsistent. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I look good enough. All these fears. I'm never going to be able to make money doing this. Oh, that's a big one. Like that scarcity thing, that will keep you on the bench every single time. Because if you don't believe that you can ultimately be successful doing this just in the bigger picture of things, then why would you ever take opportunities and make opportunities that will get you closer to that reality? You won't. So that fear, again, it affects your ability to take these opportunities, to make good on them, to be able to get the results that you want from your performances, your recordings, your audition. And if that's happening, then it also dramatically affects your willingness to invest in yourself and invest in your career. Because if all these fears are going on and you don't have that belief that it is out there for you and that you can make this happen with the right support, with the right tools, then why would you ever invest in getting those tools, in getting that support, whatever it may be? If there's an amazing producer out there that you want to work with, let's say you're a recording artist and that producer is $10,000 to work with. If you have that fear that you can't deliver when it counts, or you have that fear that you're not good enough, or that fear of, oh, it's too hard to make it, like it's too impossible to make it anyway, then you will not invest in that producer, which might be the very thing, if it's a match, that actually gets you to that next level. So fear dramatically impacts your ability to invest in yourself. Even I've seen it even with singers investing in their training. They're so beat down from that fear of failure that they're not even willing to invest in the things that are going to move the needle out of that failure and get them the tools that they need to succeed. So this idea of fear, it will take you down every single time, affecting your technique, your ability to make an impact, your opportunities, your willingness to invest, to bring those opportunities. So really check yourself, guys, and see, am I in that? Because it will take you down whether you realize it or not. And okay, so now the last lesson that I've learned, and this is a biggie, and I think this really trumps so much of all the rest of them, is the idea that there is no substitute for resourcefulness. So what do I mean by resourcefulness? I mean that there is always going to be a challenge. Always. It's never going to be convenient to go out there and create the life and the career and the dream that you want. There's always going to be challenges. It's never going to be convenient. It's time challenges, money challenges, family obligations, COVID, in the last 2 years, right? And what I have seen is that the most successful singers that I have worked with, the ones who are out there living their dreams right now, like Grace, who you may have seen in an interview that I did recently on the channel, who has a full-time music career, no more day job, or like Ivan, who literally did not have the money to invest in the training he needed in order to get where he wanted to go, but he got resourceful, got that, and he just had a six-figure, $100,000 a month, being able to merge his singing gifts and his healing talent gifts into one amazing career that merges music and artistry and healing and mindfulness into this incredible product that he has built. A year and a half ago, not even, it was like a year and 2 months ago, he didn't have the money even to invest in his bank account to get there. But what he did have is he had resourcefulness. He wasn't looking at what resources he has right now. He wasn't looking at what was currently in his bank account. He was looking at what he was willing to do to get what he needed to have the life and the career and the artistry that he wanted. So guys, it's never about resources. It is always about resourcefulness. There's a difference. And I don't care how much money you have in the bank right now or how little money you have in the bank. If you have a passion and if it is an absolute must for you to see this talent through to its ultimate potential, if you know that you do not want to have to sit at some day job wondering what if for the rest of your life, if you know that God put you on this planet with this gift to use it and to connect with people and to create a big life out of your gifts, then it doesn't matter how much money is in your bank account. What matters is how resourceful are you willing to be to get what you need to have what you want. And so the reason I say there is no substitute for resourcefulness is because you can have passion, you can have talent, but if you are not willing to get creative in order to weather the challenges, because there will always be challenges, it is a guarantee. This career is going to be ups and downs. It is going to be that way for the rest of the long haul of the career. That's just the way it is. And so those who have that resourcefulness, who are willing to do whatever they need to do to have what they want. And I'm not talking about doing illegal stuff, guys. Don't comment in the chats about that. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Those who are willing to go beyond the fear, go beyond their comfort level, go beyond the perfectionism, everything that I just talked about above, to get resourceful to be able to make this dream a reality for themselves, those are the ones who succeed. It's never about talent. Truly, it's never about money. I can't tell you how many times I hear the excuse of, well, I don't have enough money. Okay, I don't care. What I care about is, are you sick and tired of sitting on the sidelines of your dream? And are you ready to do what you need to do to make it happen? And if you are, there is always a way for the committed. There is always a way for someone who has resourcefulness, is willing to do whatever they need to do, get creative to be able to make this future a reality for themselves. So this kind of leads me into the last part of this discussion, which is these things, going beyond the fear, getting comfortable with discomfort, understanding the ways in which your mind is sabotaging your technique, perfectionism and all these things, right? Understanding the fear you're in, like all of these things, they may not be your conditioned habitual way of walking through your career, of walking through your technical journey, of walking through these auditions and the things that you're trying to create for yourself. They just may not be what you were taught. And I guarantee you they were not what you were taught if you went to music school somehow, because all they focus on is technique, technique, technique. And now you launch into your professional career and you are completely like a turtle on your back, trying to weather all these storms that are keeping you from the life and the career and the sound that you want. And so if you want support learning how to do these things, the community of the pack that's running 5 minute miles, right? Instead of scratching their head and wondering why they're not getting any faster and going anywhere. Yeah. Not being isolated in this and having the best tools in the world to learn how to stop sabotaging yourself, to learn how to go beyond the fear, right? Then I want to invite you to book a call with me. Because on this call, we're going to get clear on all the ways that you might be making all these mistakes. And I'm going to lay out the step-by-step strategy that I use with all my singers to be able to go past that. The strategy that I even used, the strategy Grace used, all of these singers who you see doing incredible things. I will share with you the same strategy that I use with them that is helping them go beyond the fear, to reframe their perfectionism, to learn how to get past all of the stuff that's sabotaging your technique and understand how technique is just one piece of this foundational tripod that a successful career stands upon as a singer. And so if you are doing all these things, you have so much training, you're out there hustling, you're trying to make it happen for yourself, and you're just not succeeding the way you want, or you know you have this sound in you and this impact in you, and it just does not show up in your auditions, your performances, your recordings, then don't waste another minute. Book a call with me. We're going to get on the phone for like 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm going to walk you through what's going on. We're going to get clarity, and I'm going to share with you the systems and the strategy that I use with singers in my program that gets them past all these things and into the future of the success that they've been waiting for in their sound, in their reliability of their voice, in the opportunities they're making and taking, all of these things. So don't waste a minute. If you're struggling, I want you to know there is another way to train that merges high level technical training with proven mindful practice, building the entire foundation of the whole artistry, your holistic instrument, mind, body, artistry, sound, technique, so that you are much better set up to succeed and don't have to sit there wondering what you're doing wrong any longer. So this has been our Pro Singer Success Collective diatribe for today. 5 lessons I learned saving 50 singers' careers. If you want the community and the support to be able to save your own career and you want our help to be able to do it, then book a call with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you want to subscribe, click the link right over there that says subscribe. And if you want to book a breakthrough session with me, which you absolutely should do, then click the link right over here that says book a call to schedule an appointment to speak with us. I'll see you on the next episode.